There we go. We can see most of them. That's it.
Right, now they're all doing the hour of code. That's why they're so engrossed. They're doing the hour of code. And when they started, their eyes rolled and they said, hour of code. No, but look at them. They're like children. You can't get them off. Right. Right, have you got some questions to ask Steve? Steve, you know what Steve, tell us some of the things you do via Skype and Google Hangouts.
Okay, well, effectively, as an educator, we all know that when you operate as an island and you don't communicate with other people, you find that sometimes you are a little bit short on inspiration. So I find that from a professional development point of view, connecting with other teachers locally and internationally is incredibly advantageous, because generally the people that I'm connecting with are habitual sharers. They love sharing tools and tricks and tips, and that means that I'm gathering data all the time that is of great use to me in the classroom. Not only that, but then I use Google Hangouts and Skype as a communication tool, where I get to interview very interesting people, and I get to invite schools and audiences like you to participate in the interview. And then the teachers and the students get to ask questions as well. So for example, at 6 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be interviewing my very good friend Wanda, and she is a blind astronomer. So she studies the universe with her ears and not her eyes. And of course, there are going to be a lot of questions. How do you study the universe using your ears and not your eyes? And this is a wonderful opportunity for kids to actually ask those kind of questions and to get that sort of information.
Wow. Is she blind?
She is. She wasn't born blind. She had an illness that made her blind. But what is fascinating is that she's an incredibly intelligent woman, and she has been able to take the visual experience that she's had and translate it into an auditory experience. So hopefully tonight we'll find out what planets sound like and not what they look like. But if you are interested in a range of topics, we've done a lot of interviews, and if you go on to livingmaths.com, on top of the screen where it says interviews, if you click there, there are about 30 or 40 interviews, ranging from the head of NASA to a transgendered young man, to Amira Villergagen, who was the little Dutch girl that won Holland's Got Talent at 9 years old when she sang opera. We've got Dan Mancina, the blind skateboarder. We've got John Grunsfeld, a 5 times shuttle astronaut. There are such a large and broad range of interviews that, you know, a lot of kids might find that there's one particular topic that they're interested in, and they can then go and watch the interview. And we're going to have many more. So if you visit our website, you can sign up to our emails, and then you'll get to know about all the interviews coming up soon. We do have one scheduled with Johanna Nordblad, who is the Finnish freediving champion. She loves going down to the deep part of the ocean on one breath of air. And if you've been watching on the internet, she recently did a video about how she loves diving under the ice on a frozen lake on one breath of air. And as you know, when you go down that hole, that's the only hole to go back up. You can't exactly break through the ice. And we've also got Adrian, who is a rare insect breeder. And he collects some of the rarest species of insects you've ever seen. And if you've seen him on the internet, he often has all these big snails crawling across his face. And he's got pictures of him with very rare praying mantises that look like cartoon characters. And so I like to interview interesting people, because this is where my curiosity lies. But that's how we learn, by asking lots of questions. And I want to encourage kids to also have the opportunity to access people like this, so that they can ask questions and satisfy their curiosity.
Now, just now, one of the teachers asked, how do these kind of people, if you want to, invite them to come and speak, how do you do that? What do you do?
Okay, so I have learned that the worst thing that anyone could ever say to you when you ask is no. So, for example, a friend of mine in the US, she said that her class is learning about ancient Egypt, and she would love to contact an Egyptologist. And it just so happens that I knew someone who was an Egyptologist. So I emailed them and I said, would you be willing to Skype with their class? And she said, absolutely, but she's busy. She's going to put her postgrad students onto it. And these three lovely young ladies joined the group, and they had a live Skype chat, which I moderated from South Africa, while all four of them were in America, including the classroom of kids. And the kids got to ask questions. And when I mentioned this to one of my Cape Town teachers at Kirstenhof, she said, well, we're also learning about Egypt right now. What can we do? So I've just sent them the connection. And while they probably can't do a live connection because the timing in the US means that, let's say at 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in Cape Town, it would be 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, no, sorry, it'll be 10 o'clock in the morning in New York. Sometimes the timing is not right for the primary school, but you can also do it offline, where the kids will email their questions and then they can record Skype video messages, which you can then download and play all the answers to the kids from the speakers. So those sorts of things are possible. If it's someone from Europe, they're generally an hour or so behind. They often like to join in and do a live Skype chat with the classroom. But email me. I'm happy to help you and refer you to people. There might be some people, for example, in the US who are willing to get up early and would love to connect with your kids. But I might be able to connect with teachers in other parts of the world where you guys can do joint exercises like a maths activity. We once did a cool activity where we wanted to work out the cost of living in Russia. And then we had a Japanese teacher join us. And we thought, well, let's compare 5 items, give the rand, the ruble, the yen, whatever it is that they're going to pay for it. And then we convert them all to rands and see which country would generally cost less to live in. And those kinds of exercises allow students to consolidate their content, and it's real live stuff, which makes learning so much more interesting.
Wow. What is your email address, Steve?
It's steve@livingmaths.com.
So if anybody wants to email Steve,
all one word.
Steve at
All one word, steve@livingmaths.com. Or you can go on to livingmaths.com and you'll find info@livingmaths.com. Yeah, we get all those emails.
It's Steve.
Steve at livingmaths.com.
Steve at livingmaths.com. Has anyone got a particular question to ask Steve? He is a minefield of information. Anyone at this hour?
Can I ask them a question? Have they played Kahoot yet?
Some say yes, and some are so busy with their hour of code, but they are listening.
Okay, so effectively, if you've played Kahoot, that's a lovely thing to do with another country, where you create a quiz about something that both countries are learning about, and then the kids get to play against each other. And I think that that's a wonderful ice-breaking activity because the kids love Kahoot. And to play it over Skype, all you do is you create the Kahoot and then you share your screen. And I think that that's a wonderful tool that you can allow people from anywhere in the world to play. I think one time we had 600 people from about maybe 15 or 20 countries playing Kahoot. Just by sharing it via Google Hangout, we shared the screen, and because it was streaming live, more people could watch it from their venues and sign in to the Kahoot game. So, I mean, yeah, I think that teachers underestimate the power of using Skype and Google Hangouts and a peer.in in the classroom. I've got a couple of kids who sadly have had a difficult time the past year or so. They've been diagnosed with either leukemia or cancer, some form of cancer, and they've been going for treatment. And through a little bit of coaxing, I've convinced the schools and the IT departments, because they're the toughest ones to get through, Skype onto the computer, and they then share the whiteboard screen. And that enables the child to actually participate in class, see what is being written on the board, and actually do everything from home or from the hospital, as long as they can get onto an iPad or a laptop or a computer and Skype in. And it just allows the kids also to know that they're okay. They can also ask them questions. So there's a lot of value in using the Skype as a tool, not just as a lovely little program to phone up your relatives in another country.
Right, okay. Wow. Well, now you can see what it's like having a guest speaker come into your classroom. It could be so valuable. Don't you think? Any more questions, Christine? I think that everybody's exhausted.
We've overwhelmed them.
Well, I must just say thank you very much for giving up your time like this. I know you're so busy. And thank you so much for coming in and talking to us.
You're absolutely welcome. And if you are online at 6 o'clock, you're welcome to watch the interview with Wanda.
Okay, so you do these interviews every Monday? Every...
No. Some are Monday, some are Tuesday, some are Wednesday, and sometimes we do 3 in a week, sometimes none. So next week I'll be in Durban for the Richards Bay Science Festival, and I'm also going to be doing a maths show for one of the schools, the deaf schools there, because they've never ever had a maths show before. So we've decided, if we've done math shows for the blind school, why not do one for the deaf school as well? And that means we get a chance to take what I do in the classroom on a daily basis and find creative and innovative ways of sharing that with kids who obviously can see but don't hear very well.
Well, that's wonderful. Wow. That's so, should we say goodbye to Stephen? Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.